Hello and welcome back to the PNY Pro Podcast. My name is Jerome and I'm here with my co-host Bianca as well as Derek. And today we have a special guest with us. We have Sam Mondlick from System 76. How's it going, Sam?
It's going great. Thanks for having me on the podcast today. Looking forward to talking about GTC.
Yeah, of course. So speaking of GTC and diving right into it, how was your experience with GTC?
It was phenomenal. It'd been a while since I'd been out at the event. It's grown over the years. The expo hall, the attendees, everything has gotten onto a scale that is just amazing to see. It's like its own mini little CES,
Hmm.
dedicated towards graphics, AI, machine learning. It was fun to see the growth of it.
Yeah, I mean, even in general, I know you, Bianca, as well as Derek, you guys were all at GTC. You guys all got to meet up and hang out. How was the experience as a whole within the PNY booth? Of course, having System 76 there too.
Was really great, like, to see the relationship between us and our partners like System 76 just be tangible and see how we all interact with one another and interact with different people at the conference.
Yeah, and to add to that, Sam and System 76, first and foremost, I have to say a huge thank you because, as you know, things change at events, and we originally talked about one system, and they were like, hey, you know what? We kind of want to add a second demo in the mix. And Sam's like, okay, what is it? Like, we're gonna need another system. He's like, okay, I have one overnight, I have it the next day, and sure enough, we did. So first and foremost, I want to say huge thank you
Crazy.
for making
Yeah.
that even possible, because not only do we get to display one of your systems powering the virtual event in our virtual environment, but then we also got to tie it into the AI avatar with your system and actually showcasing NVIDIA Omniverse Enterprise and a digital twin of a data center. So I think kind of going to that build, I guess, yeah, give us a little bit more insight to that build and, how that was configured for, NVIDIA Omniverse and a digital twin.
Basically, what we had was a Thelio Mega, which is our high-end GPU compute machine. It's, I guess we can call it our AI workstation now. I feel like everybody's making that move to calling things of high-end workstation caliber AI focus. So it's our premier product. We were able to really highlight the capabilities of basically on-prem AI workloads, like what was done with Smart Spatial and the digital twin of their data center, being able to create real-time interaction, monitoring, and integration, where they were able to actually walk around and play with the machine and see what might be going on within an actual full-scale data center, thanks to all the data points that are able to be come in and brought through the computer itself in real time.
So then, as someone who wasn't at GTC, what were the main differences that you saw between the Thelio Mega, or I guess from someone who's looking from the outside in, what's the main difference between the Thelio Mega system as well as the Omniverse build? Like, what were some of the main two differences of them?
So the Thelio Mega really designs for a great combination of localized workloads to high graphics performance multi-GPU workloads, whereas Astra it's a smaller machine by volume. It's like a 36 volume chassis, and you can basically condense it with power supplies. So Mega has like a 1600 watt power supply, whereas the Astra is at an 850. And a lot of that's due to the CPU and what you want to put into it. So it's more of a smaller end workstation designed for parallel processing, since these CPU cores from Ampere are they're consistent physical cores, whereas a traditional x86 has cores and threads and hyper-threading, things like that.
And that's awesome, that we got to showcase two kind of different, or I guess completely different systems in the PNY booth at GTC. Sam, what was it like getting to speak to people and speak to both of those builds and see the reactions or maybe use cases people were thinking of with systems like both?
It was awesome. There weren't a lot of workstations displayed at the event in general. And then NVIDIA was highlighting their new AI workstations with, I think it was Grace Hopper. It was really nice to talk to people about it. The workloads that these individual developers are able to do on a local level is quite amazing. They really take what we do on a hardware level and are able to create amazing things. It's awesome to talk to them about different workloads, how they're taking, Llama 2 or Llama 3, the new different workloads that are being pushed out from the data centers and bringing them into a local environment where they can run specific targeted sets prior to deployment. It's really cool to see. It's really cool to talk about, and they just seem really enthused with what PNY is able to provide us from a graphics card stance and how we're able to integrate it and give them a local solution at a fraction of a price of what it costs to spin up at a data center.
And with that enthusiasm, I know that you had mentioned when we were at the event that you were really excited for the last day, which was the student day, community member day. What was it like talking to that group of people versus the other group of people that were coming earlier in the week, more on the business side? Was there a difference in what these younger generation is looking to do with these stations?
Yeah, I think it's really important to get both of those sides, right? I think the student, the community member, they don't have a specific goal of what they want to achieve, so they're open to a lot of different ideas and ways to achieve them. Whereas on a business, you come in, you kind of are specific, you're looking to achieve one set of goals for your organization, or you have a vision for that specifically. Whereas these community and NVIDIA employees and students, they're in a field, and their field is broad, and it really kind of gives them a opportunity to expand on their knowledge and build their, educational background in where they want to go. And the hardware really helps them achieve that with the components that are installed with it, and really creates an amazing opportunity for them to grow as a person and as a, I guess as a person. It's fun to see. That's my favorite part, is the community side and what we can actually do together with people to create the next big thing. It's always fun.
So Sammy, we had both systems demoed in the booth, and we were able to showcase the airflow and kind of highlight, a unique feature of System 76. And I know one thing is like the build quality and the build structure isn't like your typical just a box. You guys actually build these out of sheets of steel from the ground up in-house, which is crazy to think of because not many do that. So can you go into a little bit of that as well? Because I find it very interesting, not one that you're doing that internally at System 76, but then also the way that you really consider airflow in your case is highly important, especially for someone at a workstation. So can you dive into that a little bit more?
Yeah. So yeah, and we are an oddity, right? Most organizations right now, you're not bending metal at your own facility. You're working with an upstream that produces it. And, we did that for a long time. And then in 2018, we decided that we weren't as happy with the overall design and flow and performance and things like that, and decided to, hey, we're going to open a factory. We're going to start doing internal mechanical engineering and design and thermal control all in-house, because we've got the team that's enthused and knowledgeable about it. So we started bending metal in 2018, starting from flat sheets of aluminum, putting it through a punch combination laser, goes through sanding, bending, powder coating, assembly, thermal, and fun drop testing to make sure things ship. That's always a fun one at the end. You get to build a very beautiful product that looks great, and then realize that hey, when UPS takes it and delivers, it's going to drop and something's going to break inside, so you got to re-engineer it. But it's been fun. We worked with liquid cooling in the past, and other different ways in order to cool a machine. And at the moment, the best way we've been able to achieve that is with something we've basically designed, which is chamberized cooling. So we create two different cooling paths for the CPU and the GPU. You have a single intake duct for the CPU, allows us to bring in cool air from the side and funnel through the machine over the CPU and over the memory in order to ensure top performance with no throttle. And then we have an additional duct that's specifically for the graphics cards. And as you know, those graphics cards are now getting more and more powerful. They're getting larger. The original Mega was designed for 4 total GPUs. You can still do that with some of the lower end, like the 4000 ADA, but we're getting to a point where, you know, power draw out of these GPUs is getting upwards of 600 watts. So you're looking at 1 to 2 graphics cards, but the memory in there is getting larger and larger. You know, the Blackwell card now has 96 gigs, double what was there with the 6000 ADA. So what you're able to achieve now with one GPU compared to multiple it's amazing to see.
I actually wanted to ask because I know before you were talking about the students and kind of what you were doing in the past there. I wanted to ask, where do you also see your builds mainly being used in terms of the different markets? And how does that usually work when it comes to System 76?
So we were founded in 2005 with the mission to open the desktop and bring powerful and open compute to the masses. We decided to do that with a Linux-based operating system because we feel that it offers the most customization available to the user. It becomes a additional utility that really empowers the user. It's not a commodity. The computer isn't a commodity. It's something that you are meant to create on. And for us, the student and the researcher are huge in that. A big part of our business is to research, R&D, high-end engineering. You know, we service like almost all of the top-tier research universities in the US. We do a lot within national labs and other, you know, research, R&D, aero, and things like that. So we're heavy in research. And the reason why we play so well there is because of the customization that we're able to provide and the fact that your tools are available and the computer really can just become whatever you want it to be, thanks to the software tools that are around you in that ecosystem.
Yeah, so Sam, we covered a lot in terms of, you know, who System 76 is, how you build your systems, and kind of what makes you unique. But also we touched on some GTC stuff, the demos and everything in the booth. Is there anything else you wanna highlight?
No, I'd like to at least hit on you know, I really appreciated you guys having us out there. It was great to be able to be there in person, showcase the products, talk to the people, really highlight the partnership. I think that over the years, this partnership has grown, and we've been able to really service a lot of different customer bases thanks to PNY's graphics cards options and how we can integrate them into our machines in a time where, you know, graphics cards are hard to get. And as an OEM, we need to make sure that we have access to those cards so that these customers can go out and create really amazing things.
Yeah. And I mean, kind of going off of that, I think a good note to bring up maybe is, you know, you're talking about your mission and how you want people to be able to create amazing things. Is there anything that excites you thinking about these new Blackwell products that we have and what people can do with the combination of these new PNY graphics cards and your systems, like the exciting things that are coming in the future? Is there anything that particularly stands out to you or that you're hopeful for?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I feel like as an industry, we say AI a lot, and it encumbers. It's it's a very wide breach statement, right? The Chat GPT models and all these other things for bots and things like that, they can be scary for some people, but in a lot of ways, they're tools that I think are going to make really interesting improvements to how we go about doing things as we move forward. I think one of the funner projects for us is, we've been able to localize a chatbot for our own systems, right? So right now we've got a fun internal project that we're using, that we're trying to really understand more of our own internal data. And by running it on one of our megas or one of the Astras, we can do that all locally, where in the past you probably need to push it out into a cloud environment, and then you've got a whole different set of things you got to deal with when it's not local in there. So I think the fun thing is a lot of these things are now being able to be done on a smaller scale and local, so that either if you're a small business or and just a regular guy on the street or girl on the street, however you want to look at it, you can do a lot of these things local that I don't think people would have thought you could do. And because of NVIDIA and the graphics cards that they've created and PNY's partnership with them, we're able to let people start building more and more of these things on a smaller scale that can either be done locally, or as it grows, they can build and put these into data centers with larger graphics cards, more memory, more storage, and it's limitless. So it's really, I think that's the fun thing to see, is we'll see things kind of coming into a local environment, being able to build it out and then scale it. And I think we'll start seeing some really fun projects come out of it.
Yeah, that's awesome, Sam. We're really excited to see what the future has, not only for the industry, but PNY, System 76, everybody. It's a lot of really exciting things coming. But yeah, we'd like to thank you for your time, Sam. Thank you so much for joining us today. As always, thank you to my wonderful co-hosts for having another great episode. And for everybody out there, you can listen to us on your favorite podcast platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, and be sure to be following us on all social media to stay up to date with the latest content coming to you from the PNY Pro Podcast. Thanks, guys.